It's your guy Spoonie. It's your guy Nix. Here with the post-game report as the Cowboys find a way. We find a way to go ahead and beat those Giants. Lots to talk about, obviously, to break down the game. Also, I mean, we are in first place in the NFC East least. However you want to kind of talk about that. Obviously, the big thing that I want to talk a ton about is the one and only Dak Prescott, who suffered a horrific compound fracture to his ankle, which means the bone pierced the skin and some things like that. Outside of that, though, Spoon, how you doing? How you feeling? What's going on in your area?
I'm okay right now. I'm in my family's house. And the air, is a couple of Giant fans here. Family members here, Cowboys fans like myself. And when we saw Dak go down, the air just left out the whole room. It was just we just stood there in shock. You know, it's sad. It's very sad for Cowboy Nation. Even though you won the game, it's not the same for me. And I hope for a speedy recovery.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, once again, the Cowboys do get the win 37-34. Lots of stuff for us to kind of come through and talk about. Obviously, going forward for the rest of this season, one of the things about Dak Prescott is he's never missed a game, Spoon. He's always been there.
Right, right,
Never missed one. And
right.
obviously, for sure not going to be back this season. And then we got to kind of wait and see what happens moving forward. We don't know. It could be an Alex Smith situation if it gets infected, different things,
Right,
the contract's up, with the tag, how's the business side going to be handled
right,
as it pertains to that. Obviously don't want to get too far ahead of that kind of stuff right now.
right.
But just things that we're difficult to discuss and talk. This is why a lot of times we pound the table for these guys' phone. And I know a lot of people like, no, don't pay the guy, don't pay this. But I'm like, hey, man, you got to get your money in this game.
Hmm.
You take a guy like Dak, never been seriously hurt, never missed a game, and runs the ball. We all ask for him to run the ball more. I mean, even during the game, I'm like, man, the way they're playing right now, a quarterback draw will be good. And then
Right.
they finally call the number, and Dak. How many times we've seen Dak stiff arm somebody, right?
And
And
be all
get
right.
up and flex. And this time, he stiff armed somebody, and uh, that was not pretty.
Right.
Definitely not pretty. But with that being said, though, Spoon, let's get into the game. We're going to talk some more Dak. The call lines are open if you want to call. You have anything you want to say about the game or Dak in general. 903-399-1015. We'll get you on here. The defense. I mean, we're always going to talk about the defense, Spoon. This
Hmm.
defense, man. This defense is they scored 117 points. They hadn't had a touchdown their last 20 offensive possessions. And the very first drive, what do? Shoot right down the field and get a
Right.
touchdown. I said, well, here we go. Here we go. Obviously, we got the ball first, strong start. We were hitting them, had some for the field goal, unfortunately. But quickly, we were down 7-3. And then, per usual, it's time for us to get an old turnover on offense. Dak a little hot, flips off of Zeke's hand, pick six, and boom. But I tell
Hmm.
you, I think the thing that I thought about this was the difference as we were playing. And we end up, they go up 17, right, or 14-3. Man, that next drive when they started punching that ball and little rollouts, different things like that. To me, like it settled the team down. I was talking in our chat, our game thread, and I was like, man, that drive just kind of really seemed like it slowed everything down a little bit. You could see the
Hmm.
offense kind of playing a little bit under control, not so frenetic. Uh,
Right.
and I was like, man, I hope that kind of transfers over to the defense, which obviously the defense comes right back, boom, gets the
Hmm.
sack, fumble, and scores. Now we kind of talk about a little bit of the rest of it. But I thought that drive was important, Spoon.
Right. Oh, listen. We was going somewhere. Again, when you have a guy like Dak Prescott, in that lineup, it makes you feel good that we could do something, and it's proven that, for the first 3 weeks, with that drive, as well, and like I said, without a doubt in my mind, before the injury, I feel like we was gonna score some points and be in
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, we kind of know. Obviously, we do want to get down, uh, you don't want to get down early like we have been,
Right.
even though we did kind of, but we scratched back and got it back to a pivotal point where we're at 24-10, right?
Mhm.
And man, I'll tell you what, did Daniel Jones have like Vaseline on him? Like, how many times did we see our guys get a hand on him, grab him, and slide off? Like, look, I mean, Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. No disrespect to Daniel Jones, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, like, how many times was there hands on this kid and he would just slide this way, slide that way, and get out of the pocket and end up,
Mhm.
kill us with a pass on the sidelines? It was good to see us blitz more on defense. It was good to see us get some pressure. But my goodness, we could have had like 8-9 sacks this game, man.
Yeah, yeah. The defensive line played a little bit much better. They was on top of Daniel Jones, but he's a big quarterback. He's very mobile. He's elusive. We know that, and that's what you get. But the defensive line did play much better than it did for the past couple of weeks. D-Law got his first sack, his strip sack, which led us to a score points with Anthony Brown, which
Anthony
was
Brown.
yeah. Everson Griffin was getting in there as well. So
No, I'm still look. I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
I know,
I'm
I
still
know. It
out.
wasn't
I'm out on Everson Griffin. The dad tied end around, and
right,
you didn't get him. I
right,
look. I don't
right,
care. Cool that Everson Griffin got him a sack today,
right.
man. Not a fan of Everson Griffin still, man. The guy,
Yeah,
he gets under my skin a little bit, but yeah, he
yeah.
got on the board. He got that sack.
Right, right. And so, which is a good thing. These are the things that, us Cowboy fans, all over, we've been saying, when is the defensive line going to get through? And today, they was getting through. Today was getting through,
Yeah,
but couldn't put him down. 3 sacks. We should have had about 8 or 9, but we
right.
got through. Right,
Well, and then of course, and then the other bugaboo on defense, Tristan Hill gets to the quarterback, tries to hold him up. His leg gets caught up.
right,
That bad boy's broke because he was in there. You could just watch his go back and forth. So Tristan Hill's going to be gone for the year as well. Which
right.
for us, he's basically been our best,
It's
our best defensive tackle
right.
to date.
Right, definitely, and and at the end of the day, he was one of the guys that myself, I eat crow for it. Where I didn't have high hopes for this season, but proven wrong, he was doing a very good job for the first couple of weeks of the season, and I hate to see him now. We got to replace that.
Right. So Gallimore did get to come in and do, and I saw a little bit of that, come in and do some things. Our guy Wilson, there for the first drive or so, he got benched. They brought in
Right,
your guy from the Giants, Parker. He came in and played. Wilson apparently freelanced a little too much. So now we're back-to-back weeks, right? Last week, the big play to Odell over the top. All right, that's it, Thompson, you're done. Wilson comes in, does a good job. We talked about him, had a sack, led the team in tackles last week.
mhm.
He gets to start this week. What happens with Wilson? He gets benched after the first drive. And now we're down to Parker. I'm still going to say this. You cannot tell me Clinton Dix was this bad at safety for them to go cut him.
Listen, here's my thing. Donovan Wilson, he makes a couple of mistakes. I mean, this is his first game starting. I don't know why you're trying to pull him. If anything, he's going to go through these issues because he hasn't played. Um, a guy like Thompson, he was getting burned for the first for the first 4 games of the season, and you gave him chances. I think Wilson should need some more chances. He needs to get his hands dirty just more. That's just
Mhm.
it. And not for nothing though. These are the things that we pounding our hands on the table. Like, listen, we got to get better. There's quality guys out there. If it's not Earl Thomas, that's fine. But Clinton Dix, I would definitely bring back. What was so wrong with him? I he-
I mean,
I can't trust that he was this bad in camp. In camp,
right. Yeah.
it, yeah, it
It
can't be that bad.
it definitely is a head scratcher for me. I'm like, man, there's just no way. I'm sorry. I'm
Right.
not. Man, I am not buying that he was this bad in camp. That you're down now to guys that you have signed off the streets and whatnot, right?
Right.
So, but I mean, yeah, here we are, and I guess we'll be on the carousel, leading into next week. Uh, who's going to start this week next to Xavier Woods? You know what I mean? But again, defensively, the one thing that I definitely like to see though, that I was definitely feeling was the more blitzing.
Yeah.
Those guys were bringing the heat a little bit more, and something that we've been asking, about for a while now is like, hey, man, if we're going to be bad in coverage, at least try to go get the quarterback.
Right.
If nothing else, go get the damn quarterback. And they did a little bit more of that. They applied some pressure. Um, uh, I- we're on the cusp of getting some guys back. Cheetah Bay, Sean Lee, Gregory's right around the corner. LVE's, coming down the pipeline here soon. But man, I tell you, another guy to me, and it was bad last week, it was bad this week. And I want to harp on the defense a lot, but my goodness, the Giants, the worst offense in the league, we just gave up 34 to, guys. We
Right.
just gave up 34 to, ladies and gentlemen. And Worley is the worst. This guy, I don't know what he's looking at or what he is doing. And also be clear, man, our defense got built out by flags better than we're getting built up by the government, if you feel
Yeah.
me. Like
Right.
the fake field goal, like Worley on that play saw and pointed to the guy over there and then just didn't go out there on top of
Right.
other things that he did. Uh,
Right.
Jordan Lewis doing Jordan Lewis things. We talk about it every week. He just kind of he's there. Now we have our opinions, Spoon. We've always talked about we like him better outside than inside. But man, toasty, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, he's been playing very bad. And as far as the defense, it was a thing with Tony Romo. Was saying as he was doing commentating, he was saying that this defense is definitely different than last year. He pointed out so many times,
Right.
and on top of that, we know that they haven't had a very legitimate off season because of the COVID situation, especially when you want
Yeah,
to change
but
up scheme. I'm not making that as a pure
yeah,
excuse,
I'm not
but
see for me, I'm
but
not
but
buying
but
that.
but it is part of the problem. But these guys here, they're making the same mistakes that I know on film. The coaches are telling them what they're doing wrong, and they're doing the
Right.
same thing over and over and over. So like I said, we got the W, but
Hey,
losing
we're
Jack
we're in
first place.
first.
We're in first place. We all in first place. But like I said, it's gonna be definitely gonna be this is gonna be a new team going forward without Dak Prescott. They have to make a lot of adjustments, and they got to find ways to get better on defense. Management really got to do their job if they really want this team to go somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, for everybody else that's on this roster and everything, you're in first. There's
Right,
a reason that you bring in Andy Dalton, right?
right,
He's an experienced guy. He's been in this league for 2 years. He almost does have a 2-to-1, touchdown interception ratio. The one thing I noticed off the gate, not the quite same zip on that ball coming off the old Red Rifle's arm as we're accustomed to seeing when it comes to Dak. But
right.
look, he comes in, right? Gets the job done, gets a touchdown, we're up, and then it gets a little sloppy, right? Fumbles the snap,
Hmm.
which not really an excuse because Talibadaz has been the backup. But when you're the backup quarterback, y'all work together most on the snap. So this isn't a really
Exactly.
situation where, oh well, he's in the game, he hasn't had reps with this guy. No, they've had a ton of reps, but you gave up the butt, you gave up the score. You got down, and he did what he had to do. Didn't like the play calling from Kellen Moore with the.
Right.
I,
The wide receiver screen. Oh,
the back-to-back plays. We do
yeah,
the end around the Coop. Like, why
yeah,
are we running the end around the Cooper anyways?
yeah,
And then the weird, we're shifting everybody, throwing it all the way back across.
yeah.
Costed us, obviously. Special teams where they're one weekly, they're going to cost us somewhere. We end up holding them to a punt. Well, we got 12 guys on the field. Somebody supposed to be
Right.
counting who's on the field. And then to get an extra free 3 off of that. So a win against a team that is really bad in our division that took us down to the wire. There's a lot to clean up with this team still.
Right. Yeah, it's like I said, it's gonna be definitely be a
Sizemore,
very
I'm sorry, Greg Sizemore, it's a compound fracture in his ankle. Obviously, that
mhm,
means it penetrated the skin.
mhm.
He's having emergency surgery tonight. His brother actually tweeted already. He's already in the hospital bed. He's there. They're going to get him cleaned up and get the surgery done tonight. But compound fracture on the ankle is the word on deck. Obviously, out for the year. I don't know if anyone thought he was not going to be out for the year if you saw
Yeah.
it on the field, but that's where he's at. Go ahead there, Spoon.
Yes, this week, Cowboy Nation is gonna be a busy week. Getting Andy Dalton more comfortable with the offense. Obviously the play calls will be much different that we saw these past couple of weeks. Defensively, like I said, that's something that they're gonna have to. Listen, they keep saying guys believe in the scheme. I don't know about that. I just think they're not that good. Some of these players, but it's definitely a busy week this week.
Dude. Yeah, I told you, hold it down. I'll be right back, Spoon.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Yeah, I think got
Yeah,
knocked
no,
out.
you good.
Yeah, doing it for the phone is completely different.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no,
Makes
yeah.
sense.
I had something going on
Yeah.
inside. I had to take care of. Again,
Right.
guys, you have any calls, questions, anything, comments about the game? What's going on? Go. Feel free. The lines are wide open. 903 399 1015. We'll definitely get you on there. Um, a win, but boy, I mean, a win at what cost? As you were talking, as I was getting up off of there,
Mm.
obviously the offense has to change. You're right on that, Spoon. I
Yeah.
mean, they definitely got to get to some things that that he's going to have to, that what Andy Dalton does well. Now if we kind of take back a look at the time of Andy Dalton that was in Cincinnati, he had an AJ Green,
Right.
and you throw it up the channel, right? You just throw
Right.
it, and guess what? Michael Gallup is.
Same thing.
He's kind of the same
Same
kind of
thing.
wide
Hey,
receiver.
and here's the thing. I want to make this real clear, y'all. This Cowboy Nation, this should not be anything of a Dak Prescott versus Andy Dalton. Right now, it's next man up. I know a lot of us hate to see what happened in the field today, but end of the day, we all gonna root for Andy Dalton. He's the Dallas Cowboys quarterback now going forward. It shouldn't be anything where we comparing numbers versus Dak Prescott or Dak
Mm-hmm.
versus Andy or back and forth. It shouldn't be none of that.
No, definitely not.
It should be basically follow the team, follow the next man up. Andy Dalton right now is our quarterback going forward. But and again, we're gonna wish Dak a speedy recovery. We don't know about the future yet until things get in line. That's something down the line. We'll definitely be in discussion with. But as of right now, Andy Dalton's the quarterback. He came in. He played pretty good. First, got the W for us. At the end of the day, he's not a bad quarterback. We all said that from the beginning. Um, he's had some good success with the Bengals. In my opinion, I think that this Dallas Cowboys offense is way better than what he's ever had it with the Bengals. In my opinion. Um,
Here's what worries me. I mean, we'll kind of touch on this on Tuesday for
mm-hmm.
the show. Man, the offensive line though. I mean, Andy. Not that Andy was not a guy that couldn't move around. Some he did a lot of that at TCU. But 10 years later, with this offensive line, he's not going to be able to get out of the trouble that Dak's been able to get out of. So again, to me, I think that's going to kind of go back to the run game and maybe a little bit more Pollard.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll kind of, we'll kind of go through and see from that where that leads. So we'll definitely touch on some of that. But, I mean, some of the stats we had, Daniel Jones, 20 of 33 for 222. Devontae Freeman, 17 carries, 6 yards and a touchdown. Slayton, 8 catches, 129 yards, ladies and gentlemen. Dak, before he left the game, 14 to 21 for 166, and also had a touchdown catch, by the way. Awesome little play. Zeke, 19 carries for 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. Big spike on that second touchdown, too. Definitely felt like Zeke was definitely spiking that thing for his boy Dak. Which leads Cedric Wilson 1 for 1 for 11 yards and a touchdown. Now, Andy Dalton, that you just said, came in, sacked one time, but 9 of 11, 111 yards, got us in position for the field goal to go win the game. Obviously, he had the fumble, take that with a grain of salt. Pollard 6 for 30 on the ground as well. CeeDee Lamb, 2 hits, 2 illegal hits, Second one, the guy should have got ejected, in my opinion.
Yes.
But he got up and flexed on him. CeeDee Lamb is a grown man, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
8 catches, 124 yards. Michael Gallup with the big 4 for 73. Coop 2 for 23. So, yeah, man. I mean, a lot of lot of good stuff right there from those guys and what they did.
Yeah, I know, BJ.
But
I know.
all that being said, you beat a division rival. You want to feel really good about it. You lost your best defensive tackle, and you lost your leader in Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
So
it's not the same.
Yeah, it's bad. They could adjust. They could do stuff again. The biggest thing for sure is going to be adjusting this defense. We saw some adjustments blitzing, but you're still talking about a team that hasn't scored 17 points and more than 17 points in the game, dropped 34 on us. It could have been more if it went for some penalties.
Right.
He is done for the year, Mr. Garza. He is done for the season. Compound fracture, and looks like he might have dislocated it as well. For sure, compound fracture, having emergency surgery tonight on it. So, rough deal. Obviously, the thing with the compound fracture, and the thing that's worrisome about it is they're more likely to get infected because of the breakage of the skin. That's something we'll keep an eye on going forward. Dak's pretty resilient, and we'll see. I mean, if you're going to have an injury like that, at least it's pretty early in the season and not late in the season. Right. That definitely helps for sure. Looking for Tristan Hill, I'm pretty sure his is broke as well. The video showed him laying down, and that thing was wobbly. He was getting carted off, so I'm pretty sure we're going to hear that he broke his leg as well, and he'll be done for the season as well too. So definitely took some bullets today. Yeah. We got nicked up pretty good, guys. We got to win, and we're first in the division here, sitting at 2-3. But at what cost?
Right.
At what cost, Spoon?
Oh man! Again, it's not a good cost at all. It's going to be a crazy week of Cowboys talk from other networks. Of course, we're going to do our thing on Tuesday, but it's going to be a lot of what if this, what if that, a lot of those things. But at the end of the day, we got the W. We're in first place, but now we gotta take it one day at a time, 1 week and 1 week at a time. Now it's a whole new adjustment. Andy Dalton will get first team reps to get in sync with this team. And here's another thing. Our defense is that bad. When Dak Prescott was playing with our offense, we was able to score points. He knows these guys. Andy Dalton, he has to get used to that. So now it becomes a little bit more harder. But hopefully we'll get it.
Yeah, one of the things is like, well, interceptable passes is a big thing that's kind of thrown around with Dak, and boy, Andy had a real bad one to one early on, but he dodged the bullet there, if you will. Right. And I mean, again, Andy's going to get the first team reps and not to come off the bench, and that's going to help him tremendously going forward. I do want to give a shout out to D-Law, man. Give a shout out to D-Law. Yeah. Obviously got hey, we had the D-Law sighting when it mattered, right? Got the sack, the strip fumble. I mean, D-Law might could have had 4 or 5 sacks if he stopped falling, or he get his hand on Daniel. I swear, I want Daniel Jones' jersey and his arms tested for Vaseline. I want to bring that point up again. Like, my goodness, Daniel Jones was so slippery. We might have had 10 sacks, Phone. Yeah. I mean, we ended up with 3. We might have had 10 if the guys could have just got him to the ground. That was the positive thing I've seen us kind of playing with a lead a little bit. Kind of unleash these guys on top of the blitz, right? And get some pressure on this quarterback. And hopefully that's something that we see moving forward. Again, run game's still a little bit of an issue. Communication on dig routes and drag routes in the middle of the field still an issue. Worley, I don't know what you're doing is an issue. We're rotating the chairs at safety. Wilson got benched for Parker. But I mean, shout out to the guys on the D-line. I won't call them trash boys, but still not the hot boys. But they did much better this week, right?
They did. Yeah, definitely front seven. They did way much better. The second day was still an issue. It's still the issue, man. But like I said, that's up in management knows what to do to fix that. They know what to do to fix that.
Right. And on top of that, I mean, give a shout out to Jalen Smith too. I mean, he had a pretty damn good game as well. Yeah. Shout out to Jalen. He played pretty good. There's a couple moments and different things he might have did, but overall, a better game from Jalen was in stuff, and that's obviously stuff that we need.
And on top of that, now the good news is that again, not trying to deflect what happened with Dak Prescott, but the good news is that we get a couple of guys hopefully next week like Chidobe and Wuzier and
Right.
LVE may be back. So
Right.
hopefully, again, we playing a Cardinals team that love the pass. So this is a again, this is a better timing for help
Hmm.
on for help on defensively.
Right.
Offense, in my opinion, going forward, I think would be fine with Andy Dalton at quarterback. It depends how fast he
Yeah.
grasps
Oh
the
yeah, love beer
offense.
beer gang in the building. No tanking. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't. Yeah, this ain't a tanking situation for sure. I definitely
yeah,
agree with that. But I hate. We heap this praise up here on some of the things. We're pointing out some of the things on this defense, but man, the Giants are 0-5. I mean, man, 0-5. So I
right.
mean, these guys should have did that, right? This is kind of the things we talk about. Sure, against these teams, these guys are kind of flash and do. It's against some of the upper echelon of competition is where they kind of don't do these things, right? But even
Right.
still, against this 0-5 team, you give up the 34 points. And
Right.
yes, Brian Johnson, you are absolutely correct. Worley is terrible. If they're bitching these safeties back there, Worley needs to go ahead and take a timeout and sit down. I don't care. Play CJ Goodwin. It can't, play Reggie Robinson the second, the rookie.
Yeah.
Go ahead and play him. At the end of the day, Worley is bad for business. Here's the thing with Worley to me. If he's not pressing, then he should be a safety.
Right.
Period. Anything else, get him up out of there. But it has to be for Worley. If he's not in a press mode or as a corner, then we need to see what he can do at safety. Big
I
facts in
agree.
my opinion.
Agree.
Yeah, Jay, absolutely. Prayers up for Dak. Absolutely. I definitely discuss that off the top, but for sure, uh, you know, yeah, and yeah, Jeff. I mean, that's one of the things we have to wait and see how this contract and all that. I mean, that's down the road. We have to wait and see what's going on. But yeah, that's definitely going to be something that's going to be heavily talked about, especially the closer the season comes to an end, right?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, bro, I don't. I mean, when Cheetah Bay comes back, maybe that helps get Worley off the field a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously there is some help. I mean, we gave up 34 to the bad team. We saw some bright spots. We saw some change in scheme, blitzing.
Mm.
There is help, though, right, Spoon? There is some
No.
help coming, we
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Listen. Have Anthony Brown came back today was his first game. He got the fumble recovery. That felt great. Finally, the defense did something, showed something. Now you get Chidobe coming back next week. You got hopefully LVE back next week. So once LVE comes back, you can put Jalen back on what he likes to do the best, and that will help out this defense along the way. We definitely need help. Listen, the offensive line was pretty much brand new. They did a solid job today. My favorite part of the game, was when Terrence Steele had a nice big block for Zeke's touchdown, and Zeke gave him the football to spike it. I love that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
obviously, you do see. I would assume there's conversations between the players and the offensive line, and
yeah,
and with the encouragement. That's what they showed
right,
me. That encouragement part.
right,
Listen, you guys got it. And as the weeks go by, hopefully guys get better, and hopefully we are in a better situation where we can pretty much know where we're gonna go to, and
right. And
that's all right now. Hmm.
yeah, I mean, Blake right here just hitting the nail on the hammer, or the nail with the hammer here. Worst offense in the league, hung 34 points on us. Still the same problems, just a lesser adversary. I
Yeah,
completely agree.
yeah, hundred
Again, these
percent.
guys did certain things, but absolutely unequivocally agree. Hoping some help's coming. I do like this question as well from Brian. Spoon, what we do.
Yeah,
Do you guys think because of the injuries, do we look outside for help? Now, you know
Hey,
what your guy
wait,
Nick's and
wait,
what
wait.
Spoon's ready
No,
to go
no,
do.
no, no,
You
no.
know what we ready to do, Cowboys Nation.
And let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you this, y'all. The best time that I love talking with BJ Nix is when we talk about free agency. This is off the air, and let me tell you something. Some of the ideas it becomes interesting. Like, gee, we could do those things. That's a good one. We could, and a lot of guys he has mentioned we pulled. So this is something that look, we need help on defensive. We really do need help defensively. And BJ,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Snacks would have been nice, especially with the
yeah,
injury now, but that guy's gone. He's up in Seattle. Uh, they're definitely going to look either you're playing Gallimore or you got to get something at defensive tackle now. There's
right.
no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, you do got Brentley still on the practice squad, but I don't think that's going to be the answer. I think you got to go look and find somebody at defensive tackle for sure.
Well,
They're just going to sit with these corners. I've pretty much come to the conclusion I don't think they're going to do anything at corner. That's kind of how I feel. I just don't think they are. Could they? Sure. Are they? Probably not. Safety as well is kind of the same thing. We've kind of we banged our head against that. But it kind of back to the and why I don't think they're going to make this and go out here and do anything right away is right here what Brian said. Helps on the way. What we just talked about, the Cheetos, the LVEs,
Right.
the Lees. Now we don't know how many play Lees is going to give us, but we know it'll be good. If it's only 5 plays, Lee's going to give us a great 5 plays, right?
Well, hey,
And Gregory coming back going to bolster up,
yes,
that rush and
pass
some
rush,
different
right.
looks that we can do, right? But that doesn't help the middle, and the middle's been the biggest problem with this rush defense.
Well, now there's another free agency move that we have to think about now. Backup quarterback. Andy Dalton's the starter right now. Do we give to Ben DiNucci as a backup, or do we go out of free agency and bring like a familiar face to back up Andy Dalton? That's another question, because now what you
Right.
got is inexperience behind Andy right now, and that's going to be added to the list of needs.
I got Rush Turner checking in and saying, "Is the season lost with the worst thing happening today?" Knee-jerk reaction, it feels that way, right? You just like, man, the quarterback's gone, and then look, and look, Dak's going to take the over-prevailing thing, but as bad as this defense is, our best defensive tackle's now gone to a Tristan Hill.
Mm-hmm.
As Greg Sizemore said, Snake Bits isn't. You feel that way. It's your leader.
Right.
It's tough to see, him, biting the lip or biting the jersey. You see the tears. It's a bad break. He holds the fist up. He's trying to pump the guys up. But again, but whenever you secure yourself, if we go back and look at the Romo years, we didn't really secure that spot behind Romo, right? We didn't secure that spot. So what did they go do? They did something about that this year. They went and got Andy Dalton, right?
Right.
So this isn't the same kind of backup that we've been used to or accustomed to, like whenever we lost Romo. So,
right.
And obviously we're in first place in this division at 2-3. I said it before, literally, you might win this division at 6-10 or 7-9. If you go 4-2 in the division, that might be enough to win this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that make you feel good about getting into the playoffs at 7-9? Probably not. Probably not. You're probably thinking maybe I need the better draft pick and this is going to mess that up. But I think, no, this won't be a write-off situation. I've seen a lot of people, as soon as the injury went down, the sports bar was out, man, let's just go ahead and tank. Don't worry about it. This won't be a tank situation. Again, you brought him in. Is definitely the worst thing that could have happened for us with Dak and what happened. Is the season lost? No, the season's not lost, in my opinion. Smooning, what do you think?
No, I agree with you. It's not lost. I think Andy Dalton could come in here and help us win, but management got to do their part too. They gotta they gotta get some help for this team. They gotta try to do something, but
they're not going to do it, Spoon.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you, BJ. But like I said, it's not. Here's the thing: they're not gonna tank. They're gonna take week by week, and whatever the outcome is the outcome, and that's just it. They're gonna still compete.
Right. No, I definitely believe that. And this will galvanize some of the guys too, for sure. With Dak being out and everything, it's going to galvanize them some. They're going to go play for Dak,
Right.
And what happened. That's going to help. You saw that with Zeke the way he spiked the ball afterwards and whatnot. It's definitely not season lost, for sure. It's definitely not season lost. Adjustment on offense, for sure. And we got to continuously, as we talked about leading all the way up to the season, I kept telling people this defense it's going to take some time with it. Can we get there? And we just have to see if this defense can get there. If they're going to add anything, I think it will be a defensive tackle. I think you're just out of options now at defensive tackle, right?
Yeah. Now listen. My move would to be add a defensive tackle if you can. As far as safety, you really know what I would do, but they're not going to do that. I would like for them to activate Robinson II onto this team to see what we can do. How about Chris Westry? He wasn't even protected this week for the practice squad. Add him on. Let's see what he can do. There's guys out there. Hey, you said Goodwin. I will play Goodwin too. We got to try to get better. And again, if you have the mindset of trying to get better from within, then why don't you let the young guys play? Bradley and Neville Gallimore, let them play. Play.
No ifs or buts about it. Jody says checking in, some getting here late, some had baseball. All good. You're here right on time. Whenever you get here is when you should be here. At the end of the day, as I saw, I'm gonna grab that comment because actually it's funny because I posted this a little earlier. Here we go. Riley checking in, talking about hope Andy can regain his old form. man, look, and as soon as he came in, everything. The one thing I posted in a couple of different of the I need Andy to be the red rifle, not a BB gun.
Right.
You're gonna come in this thing, you got to be the red rifle. We don't need no BB gun. You're gonna be a BB gun, we go do something else. I need you to be the red rifle.
Right.
And again, one of the things that I definitely do like is, and we saw early on with him in the 2 passes that he hit Michael Gallup for. Michael Gallup is built and plays a lot like AJ Green. Maybe not the quite elite speed that AJ Green has, but a high point ball guy, slender, tall, runs a lot of the 9 or the go routes. So he has a guy that he played with a lot in his career, and especially whenever he was good, that is going to be very familiar to him in Michael Gallup. That's going to help Andy a ton. And obviously with the rest of the complement of players from the wide receivers and whatnot. Now, this might be something that hurts us at tight end a little bit more now. We'll have to wait and see how that happens going forward. But the one thing I do like is having Michael Gallup with Andy in here, and we saw that very early, and I think that's something we might see a little bit more of going forward. Now, this means maybe Coop and Lamb don't do as much. Maybe Gallup gets a little bit more of the looks. We'll just have to wait and see how they tailor this, but it'll be a comfortable guy for him to throw to because he's thrown to a guy like that the majority of his career when he was in Cincinnati.
Right, I agree, and especially like in camp when you run with the second team offense. Cedric Wilson and CeeDee Lamb. Of course, CeeDee Lamb. You're gonna see him and Cedric Wilson get a lot of more looks with Andy Dalton, even though Dak is spreading the ball around. But we know that Andy is comfortable with those two because those are the 2 guys he had during the second team practices.
Right. Big facts. Big facts. Again, definitely the thing I'm going to be looking for early tomorrow is what they go out and do maybe on the free agent wire for defensive line, or specifically defensive tackle help. But again, the offensive line did pretty well today too. Give the offensive line some credit as well today. I know we kind of talked about the defense and what they were able to do, but even though they give the 34 points and whatnot, now we know this offense has been putting up points. But the O-line, for the most part, kept the quarterback pretty clean for the most part today.
Right.
They again, we're going to continuously, and it's a valid point. The Giants are 0-5. They're not a very good team, but they do have players over there like a Leonard Williams. Yeah, they got a Leonard Williams over there. Let's be clear, right? And man, they did a pretty good job of keeping things clean. The run game was doing well, which means they were actually, blocking up the run a little bit better today too. So I mean, again, 0-5. I know they're 0-5, but hey, give the credit. We've harped on them enough. I do want to give them some credit for sure. What's going on, Mr. Woodard? How's it good? What's good, brother?
Listen, I'll say this right here too. Knowing Jerry Jones, when again, I'm not to bring up the Dak situation again, but when he went down, I mean, you saw everybody's reaction, even the Joneses. You saw his daughter, how she was crying to Stephen Jones. You saw everybody in that room. You seen Jerry's face. This is where I expect Jerry Jones in the meetings to say, listen, now that we don't have pretty much our best player, we can't sit here and just be comfortable. You got to go out there and try to do something to make this team better.
You might, Spoon, you might have a point there. Maybe. But if they believe in Dalton and whatnot, and I see a lot of this, and I want to throw this out there real quick. I see a lot of different things. People talk about Cap's not coming here. They signed Andy Dalton. Now, if there's a situation where they didn't have Andy Dalton in the building, I think that's something that could happen. Kaepernick's not coming here. They have Dalton, and low-key, they like Ben DiNucci. I don't think they're going to get another quarterback either. I could be wrong, but I think they're going to let him be the backup. Cannot go get Snacks, unfortunately.
Seattle.
That boat's passed. He's in Seattle. He's already on the practice squad. Mike Daniels, I think, actually signed in Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know if it was Cleveland or not, but I do believe Mike Daniels has been picked up, which, again, connecting the dots, obviously, with McCarthy and whatnot would be a good look. I kind of talked about him this offseason, thought maybe he might end up landing here, but they passed on that. So
hopefully we could get lucky like what Willie McClay did for David Irving and also Antoine Woods. What he did was he got both of them over practice squad played and he became very solid with us. So hopefully if they go towards that direction and look at somebody's practice squad and get a real solid player that can really help us out, we could go that route too. Hey, David Irving and Antoine Woods.
Well, I guess I guess I will talk of defensive tackle ghosts of the past. I mean, David Irving is supposed to hear pretty soon about being reinstated.
Right.
And the Cowboys still do own his rights, even though it's not
Right.
technically a contract. So I'm not saying it's going to be something, but there's a possibility, I
It's
guess, that it could be something.
it's an option. It's definitely an option.
Right.
It's definitely
So
an
I mean,
option worth looking at.
there's something there, something there for sure. Let me kind of flip through here, just take a real quick peek on some defensive tackles possibly still available. Uh, you know, the maybe it's Chris Covington time again. FYI, I mean, just throwing that bad boy up out there. So I don't know, man. I mean, there's definitely going to have to be something done, soon.
Right.
If you will, as it pertains to the defensive tackle position. Outside of that, though, again, I mean, Andy Dalton, though, even though he kind of put us in the best spot with the fumble and whatnot, still 9 of 11, though, Spoon. You got to be
No.
impressed fresh off the bench, man.
Well, listen. Like I said, when Andy Dalton was signed as a free agent, we all celebrated. Why? Because we know he's a very good quarterback. We know Dak is our starter. He's our franchise guy. But in case anything, this is what they prepare for. And now we go with Andy Dalton. Listen, he's not mobile, but he's very well experienced. He can throw to his receivers. And the thing is, we have a very good offense, and we got Ezekiel Elliott. So as long as the offensive line can get better and hold up, I think we'll be fine. As far as defensively, it's still the same issues. It's a good thing we have guys coming back, but management really do gotta go out there and listen and get some players. You need some help. That's just being honest.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to start talking about maybe the T word, the old trade.
Right.
You don't want to kind of go out there and do that. But yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, they're going to have to address something and make something happen. I don't think so. At the end of the day, I don't think we need a center, to be honest with you. I think Tyler Badal's played really good today. Saw him fired up a couple times and stuff like that. I think center wise we're good. Like I said, I always felt that once Tyler got to start, it would be over. I don't think Lindy's ever going to get that spot back for sure. There's no way in hell, Eric, I'm trading. I've said it before. I'll say it again. There's no way in hell I'm trading Gallup. Literally, within 2 years, you could pay Gallup and get out of the Mari Cooper deal and ride with Gallup and CeeDee Lamb and be fine. There's no way I'm trading Gallup whatsoever. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Can't do it.
There's no need to. There's no need to.
Now, you look around, though. You mean Dan Quinn got fired today, sir?
Yeah, so when Dan Quinn got fired, that means there may be a fire sale in Atlanta. So that opens up, guys that can be traded. They can be traded or anything. So you gotta just see with that. Listen, there's a safety over there named Ishmael who I would really like in Dallas if they was to make that move. And you got a couple of defensive players there who will become free agents in there. So, hey, listen, you could throw a little extra pick somewhere, whatever, third rounder, fourth rounder. Keep that first rounder. That's the key thing. But any way you could try to get better, help this team. Listen, we in first place. I don't think the Joneses are going to try to tank because Dak is out. That's not the case. They prepared for this. The thing is, now that you got Andy Dalton here, okay, you got to get better. He's not Dak Prescott where he could, he's mobile enough. You got to get better.
Yeah, I mean, again, it just gets back into that. What how are they going to adjust this offense and whatnot to Dalton, and kind of go from there. Now, let me ask you this: during the game, I saw some people talking about this. There was some little looks here and there. Do you think maybe the day that we kind of talk, I've said it before. If things going to keep going the wrong way, that maybe I would see Kellen Moore lose play calling duties. You feel like a lot of people was talking about they felt like maybe Mike McCarthy was doing a little play calling today.
It looked like that a little bit. Like
do you think he was in the ear a little bit?
Yeah, I would say so. End of the day, listen, your back is against the wall. When you see we're not there, but when you hear the little things that are changing, we all know there was somebody talking, and perfect example, Mike Nolan. Mike Nolan was calling the defensive plays from the field and not from the box. Why? Somebody got in his ear and go, listen, you need to be on that sideline and communicate with your defensive players on certain things, which they played, a little bit better. It's still bad. So I know as far as the offensive mistakes and some of the play calls that's been in question, I'm not surprised at all if Mike McCarthy, interfere a little bit
Mm,
with Kellen Moore's play. And guess what? You should. You come into the game at 1-3. You know what I'm saying? You come. It's not a good start as a new head coach. Even though yes, we didn't have a good offseason. At the end of the day, there's other new coaches on other teams that are doing okay.
right.
So you got to come in there and as a head coach and make some changes that can help this team.
Yeah. 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 I mean, definitely one of those things, that they want to come back around, look to, I definitely hate, at the end of the day that, losing, I mean, on top of losing that, we're losing Tristan Hill. I still haven't got the full report. Has anyone seen the full report yet? It looks bad to me. Looked like, I think he broke his leg. It's the way it was wobbling
Yeah.
and they carted him off. I don't know for sure. Maybe we'll end up getting some good news on Tristan Hill. But either way, media future, they got to do something. I do like this here. I mean, Darius is a space eater, built by Bama. Definitely a guy that I wouldn't mind seeing them bring in here and maybe plug up some holes and do some things. Uh, but
I believe there's a guy. I don't. I'm not too. I can't check my phone now and see, but I've been a fan of him since in Tennessee. Tennessee Volunteer. I believe he's still out there. His name is McCullough. He's
mhm.
playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a big time space eater. I mean, he's a big boy. Listen. I'm with you, BJ. Tomorrow morning, they should be on the phone trying to get some defensive tackle help. It starts up front. It
Yeah.
really does. The running game has been atrocious. You got to get big bodies in there.
Yeah, Brian, I saw it. I even tweeted about the old GOAT, Jeff Heath. Big pick and almost housing all the way to the 2. Pretty much set up that win for the Raiders in Kansas City today. I told people they'd rue the day Jeff Heath isn't here, and here
Hmm.
we are. Oh, Heath, my guy. My guy. Didn't
Hmm.
want him playing every down. I just liked him in the rotation. He's a good in rotation. Oh man. But yeah, definitely need to get that update. I got to check out on Tristan Hill and get the update for sure and see exactly what it is. Uh, I, I do love this. We have more holes than a sinking ship. I mean, yeah, yeah, Rush a little bit. Yeah, a little bit, man, a little bit. But 2 and 3 Spoon. I mean, you beat. I mean, we were able to hold off. The vaunted Jason Garrett offense, if you will. I do
Hmm.
want to give a shout out to Jason Garrett whenever Dak went down,
Yes.
came out on the field, class act. And look, and I wouldn't expect anything else less from Jason Garrett. We know that's how he's built and what he's about.
Right.
But came out on the field. To support Dak and everything. Some guys wouldn't do that once they move on. And definitely a big shout out to Jason Garrett for doing that today
Yes.
on the field. But we were able to hold them off by hook or by crook. We were able to do it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. With 2 minutes left, they had a timeout and the game was tied. I'm like, and this dude, by the way, only the Cowboys. Giants have never had a kicker in the Super Bowl era make 3 50-yard field goals.
Right. Right.
He made 3 today against us, though. Dadgummit. I'm like, are you kidding me? But I was like, man, this dude's been on fire from 50 plus. 2 minutes, they got a timeout. And young quarterbacks a lot of the times end up in that 2 minute format, in that 2 minute offense and doing, they get comfortable, start slinging it around a little bit.
Right.
And I was like, man, to me, I was like, man, 2 minutes against this defense, we're in trouble. That's
Right.
how I felt. I mean, even against the 0-4 at the time, Giants, I'm like, man, we're in trouble.
Right.
And shout out to them. They stood up at that moment, though. They did stand up at that moment, get the stop. And, I think that's been that I don't want to lose in the current of everything that's been happening. Even though we needed a field goal, I mean, we're pinned deep. We're on the 10. You
Right.
know, We were on the 10, and so Andy had to start backed up and was able to get us not just a field goal, but a reasonably makeable field goal.
Right.
So a lot of key things there at the very end, and very surprised the defense. Tipped the cap there against that team and was able to get that stop. And then Andy went and did his thing as well. I'm not gonna lie to you a little bit though, Spoon. Obviously, I'm a Dak Prescott guy. I hate what happened today. Prayers up for him. Just on a personal level. Hearing him talk and knowing that his brother, he passed away. And football's kind of his refuge to understand like he's not going to be able to play football no more. I hate that side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, and you kind of spoke on this behind the scenes and on here, I'm not worried about the Dak versus this. A lot of Cowboys fans, we all this. I don't really care. Look, get that mess out of here. It's star over everything for me, and that's how it always is. I'm intrigued to see what Andy's got in the tank, though. 10 years. He's had some good years. I'm intrigued to see what Andy has in the tank and what he can do for this team moving forward.
Oh, listen, at the end of the day, like I said, he has shown that he could play in this league. He's playoff experience. End of the day, I feel that he has he's surrounded by great talent in the offense to get the job done. He never had Ezekiel Elliott. AJ Green pretty much was his biggest weapon. But Joe Mixon, he had basically when he first got it when Joe Mixon was a rookie year, and he's pretty much out of there. So he has something for it to work. Again, the only thing is he the type of quarterback that can score points at will when the defense keep giving when the defense keep on giving him points. That's the difference. And again, this is where management got to come in there and try to solve that. They have to do their best to try to solve that.
Right. And to me, here's my thing. I'm like, how do we hold the Rams to 17? What was it? 17 points, 20 points?
Yeah.
Like, how do we do that? And we're out here giving up 34 to Danny Dimes. Like, bruh, somebody help me understand it.
Yeah, and see, the Giants held the Rams to 17 points last week, and we got to about 37. So it's at the end of the day, Cowboy Nation, tonight. I'm not trying to say you can celebrate. You should be because what happened to Dak, it makes it like okay, the victory is we okay with the victory, not too excited because we know going forward we don't have Dak for the season.
Yeah.
As far as past that, we don't know until that time comes. But I will say this: my head is still high up for next week's matchup versus the Cardinals, and this is going to be definitely a busy week to see how this team can improve.
Yeah, that passing attack, yikes!
Yeah,
yikes. Gibson here says, was it more of our defense improved or a not so good Giants offense? I'm going to cheat a little bit on that one, Steve. I'm going to say a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I'm going to say a little bit of both. They obviously changed and blitzed more, and that helped somewhat. The most pressure we've seen them bring all year, but it didn't hurt that it was a not very good Giants O. What you think, Spoon?
Nah, great question. Great question by Steven. I'll be honest, I'm with you with the same way. It's a little bit of both. But the defense today stepped up that little bit, that much. Hopefully next week will be even more. Listen, 3 sacks. We could have had more sacks. We had a turnover for a touchdown. We almost had an interception by Diggs. What you did was you seen guys step up, but now we're going to have starters return on that defensive side. So hopefully that plus whatever the management can bring in to help this defense, hopefully the defense won't be as bad as the first 3 weeks. Hopefully whatever happened today will continue on and get better and better and better as the weeks go by.
Mm-hmm. You said Cardinals next week, right?
Yeah, Monday Night Football. So we got extra time. It's not going to be easy.
D-Hop, Larry the Goat Fitzgerald,
Kyler Murray,
yeah. Gotta pack that lunch, baby.
Yeah.
Definitely gotta pack that lunch. Cheeto be back next week if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So
Cheeto and LVE should be back next week.
Oh, I don't know. I pump. Yeah, I pump.
LV,
I know LV's working out. I don't think LV's gonna be back next week though. Okay. I don't think he's gonna be back, but we will get Cheeto back. So that'll definitely help on that front, man. We appreciate it, man. Give it a like, give it a share. If you want to call in, by all means, give it a call in. We'll take your comments, your questions, and everything else. Obviously, the big thing. Let's go ahead and bring it back to the top for the people. The guy here, everybody knows by now. Dak done for the season. Compound fracture of the ankle, possible, and I guess also dislocation. Definitely done for the season. It's the red rifle time. Got to ride with Andy Dalton now and see what he can do. If he's got any, bullets left in that old rifle, arm of his. Once again, man, you gotta, just gotta plug and find a way. And the Cowboys did. The one thing I will say overall this game that we haven't talked about, no matter what the team is, it's still in the NFL. And look, yeah, they could have folded. Like whenever Dak got up out of here and what happened, how bad it was, man, they could have folded. And the guys didn't. I mean, they kept plugging, they found a way, and they played and they got the win. And they could have definitely folded. They didn't fold. So, moving forward, you gotta kind of have that same energy, right?
Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, they played for him. And you see when he scored that touchdown, again, like you said earlier, he spiked that ball very hard. They rallied behind him, and that's what a team does. Like I said, they responded well with Andy Dalton. I feel
Mhm.
I see that continue on to help us win more games coming up. I think we're gonna be okay. The division is bad. This is be honest, it's bad, but I think that we're the better team, and I
The
think we can win.
least, the
Yeah,
NFC least.
yeah,
My goodness. But I mean, here's the thing about it. You see the Dolphins go blast the Niners today,
yeah.
43-17. They benched Jimmy G at the half. Coach's decision.
Hmm.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
You.
The Raiders beat the
Yeah.
Chiefs. The Raiders beat the Chiefs at their house.
Right. We went toe to toe with maybe the best team in the NFC at their house in Seattle. It had a chance to win it.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah, we're down our quarterback, but this team is still there. They're still figuring things out. I'm with you. I think the over prevailing thing for me, you know, and we'll keep pounding this table. We're going to beat this dead horse, Spoon. It seems like they could do just a couple of things and they have the money to go do it, to
Right.
just add a couple of pieces that can, it's not maybe not to make this defense, the number one rated defense in the league, but I still think, we were Team 40 Burger. We're talking about the SCO, the scorched earth office, the whole nine. I think watching Andy Dalton a little bit tonight at least tells me there's enough in the tank there with him.
Hmm.
That's going to be the most intriguing thing moving forward is
Right.
watching him and what he does. But I think this team can still put up high 20, low 30 points with Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
If we can just get this defense somewhere to be like, okay, guys, I don't need you to hold them to 15, 16, 17. Can I get you home to 21? Can I add a couple of pieces to this team to get this defense where they could just hold them to 21, 24? I think it's going to put us in a good position. And that's even with, us being down to basically our fourth and fifth, offensive tackles on the outside, the undrafted guy playing in the whole nine.
See, my issue, BJ, is that it's not just that we give them points; it's how we giving them points. I
Right.
mean, you having opposing running backs run through like it's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? It's like a bunch of tires just standing still, and that's just it. That's what you do in practice. So my thing is that I mean, when you hear them come on the show and talk about getting better, and they keep saying from within always the scheme. Maybe it's not the scheme. Maybe the player you got is not that good. Maybe go and bring somebody else in. Now this is we're ready in week 5.
Mm.
In week 5, by week 5 to tell you about a player. All right, we all know the first 2 weeks, yeah, it can be the scheme, but week 5 can tell you about a player. The player is not that good. Listen. We all know about Earl Thomas. Fine, bring in Ha, bring him back. Let's see what he can do as far as in the game. I'm wondering how. I really would like to know how bad was he in practice for him to get cut, and you let Thompson play, and then for 4 weeks straight he's getting torched. And, it's not good.
Right.
Defensive
Well,
tackle.
and look, right, and then they go to Wilson. Then Wilson gets to, he plays pretty good. He
Yeah.
gets to start. Then you bench him immediately early in the game, and now we're playing Parker back there next to Woods.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, you have an issue. You know you do. We see you having this because of the actions going on. You should go out there and do something. If you want to win, you address the issue as best as possible. I'm not trying to say, okay, give up 2 first-round picks. No, because right now the way this team is going, we need those draft picks. But there's guys out there that we need those. We need. I'm done with the trades. I'm not even trying to trade no more. I'm not trying to trade no more.
Told you those picks mean something,
Yeah,
Spoonie.
yeah. The
Told
pick,
you not to get rid of them
yeah,
picks.
those picks are valuable now because we got a whole new rebuild to do offensive line, some defense, X, Y, and Z. If you're gonna give up a pick, let it be anything other than a first and a second round pick.
Right.
In
No,
my
big
opinion,
facts.
that's it. Anything other than a first, second round pick. But there's guys in free agency that can really help this team out, and there's some guys that are better than the current guys we have in the position. So they have to go to work. If you
Mm,
want this to work out, you got to go to work because now, again, you can't keep expecting that every time the defense give up a touchdown, that we can come right out down here and score that fast. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So they got to go do something.
Yeah. I mean, and again, and as I've said, and they had Logan Ryan playing on the other side way back when. I said, I mean, it don't have to be Earl
Yeah,
Thomas. It doesn't have
no,
to be Earl. There's
no,
an Eric Reed out there still. You can't tell me
yes,
Eric Reed doesn't step in and be the best safety on this team right now. I'm sorry. He's done it
yeah.
before. He's done it before. Speaking of which, talking about games, Minnesota right now is up on the Seattle Seahawks 13-0. You know,
Anything can happen.
you know.
Listen, sometimes it's about the matchup. People get too tuned in to the records. Don't look at the record, the matchup. And again, the Dallas Cowboys offense can match up against anybody's defense. Right
Yeah.
now, the problem is the defense giving up too many points.
We got to
That's
do
just it.
something. I mean,
Yeah,
and that's the glaring thing. Yeah, we got the win, but I mean, you still gave up. Now, albeit 7 of them, they give up 27, right? They gave up
right.
27 because of the pick six in the first quarter. So technically, they only gave up 27. Still, this is a bad offensive team that's only scored 17 points in a game.
Right.
One time, that's the most points they've scored, right? I probably could look at 34 more points. Might be the most points they've scored combined all year. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. But with that being said, again, you're right, Spoon. It's just, whether it's the Eric Reeds or whatever, you have to bring enough guys in here. Like I said, I still believe with this offense, even though we're down the tackles and we're down back to the backup quarterback, that we can still produce 27 to 31 points each week. This defense just has to get to the point where they're only giving up 21, 22. Like, get it down. I'm not asking you to give me 14 a week, but find a way to
Mhm.
sit here and go and just say, okay, we're not going to give up 30 points every single week, And like I said, I mean, there's definitely guys available, but we can kind of list some of these names that we have previously, and even right now, whether it's the Eric Reeds of the world, whether kick the tires with Clay Matthews and see what he can bring for you at linebacker. Spoon's guy, Darren Lee, was another guy that they could bring in here at linebacker to help. I mean, there's definitely guys out here that can definitely help. Right? I mean, just a bend don't break. Unfortunately, though, the dam is broken. Everybody gets points. Everybody gets a score. I mean, I don't care who you are. Everybody's getting a score. Blanco, they are, and it's like, oh my God, please stop. But definitely line one. I mean, of course, defense tackle. I mean, if you just add, and you got the money, it's 1 year deals. It's not going to kill your cap because everyone said, well, maybe it's going to hurt the cap. No, you're going to give them a deal for the rest of the year and then move on. It's not a big thing. Just go ahead, sign some guys for 1 year, work them in. They're better than what you got. I don't believe, Steven, I saw your comment earlier. I posted it. There's no way this is the hill I'm dying on, Spoon. This is my hill right here that I'm dying on. There is no way that Clinton Dix was the worst safety in that safety group and
I
got
agree.
cut. There's no way.
I agree 100%. I agree, and I hope he gets a phone call this week because if you out there benching safeties left and right and you're not going to trade for one, you got some pretty good options in free agency. So
Yeah. Reed was Carolina. Absolutely great. That's where he played at last. But we'll have to wait and see, kind of how we always been, every week when we get on here, we talk about this defense and what they could do or not do and whatnot. And then we do the week phone and we put on our makeup saying this defense is going to need to add someone, and we get our clown hair on and we're like, hey, this defense will be different this week, guys. And it just isn't,
no.
maybe, I mean, we'll get some guys back, and maybe, and I think maybe the short-sightedness maybe of the front office is this phone is they just think, well, once we get these guys back, we'll be fine. Well, guess what?
Right.
Tristan Hill's probably not coming back though.
Nah.
So whether you're getting Lee and LVE and Cheeto and Gregory, that defensive tackle is like you lost Joe McCoy off the rip, and now Hill's gone as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry. Hey, look, Crawford, appreciate you, brother, what you've been for Cowboys and everything else. He can't be the guy defensive tackle for
No.
us
Nah.
anymore. The hip's bad. He's not been good this season, and it's just a tough look. Oh, Blanco, I know the tackle wide open. Yeah, the 2-point play. Tackle wide open, Spoon.
Yes.
A tackle, not a tight end. It's not a wide receiver.
I was
not a running back.
I was very pissed off at that one. Very pissed off at that play. But like I said, hopefully they go look at the film and be more serious this week because now we have issues. We have issues in how serious they want to win and compete. They got to make some moves, and that's just it.
Let me ask you this, Moon. What do you think changes on this offense now that it's going to be Andy Dalton moving forward?
You're definitely going to see Zeke run a lot more balls. That's right there. You're going to see a lot more short plays, not so much big ones. You're going to see a little bit more calm down where they're going to try to keep the defense, try to keep the offense of the opposing team off the field. So it's going to be a little bit more manageable. I don't think it's going to be that much like the way when Dak was in there to play on the safe route.
Yeah, I think it means we're going to see more Pollard.
Yeah,
is what I think. I think we're going to see more runs from Pollard. I think Pollard's going to get involved a little bit more now with Dalton. With Dalton being on board. And you know what? I obviously he's not showing up on the injury report and whatnot, but I mean, just even watching him run that end around, something's wrong with Coop.
Man,
something's not there with Coop.
This is why, again, when you see the question about trading Gallup, this is the reason, the most, let me tell you, it was a blessing in the sky to have CeeDee Lamb. Why? Because at the end of the day, when you look at Coop and his contract, if they choose to get away from it, they can in 2 years. And guess what? Cedric Wilson showing he could play in this league. He's showing it. He's had a lot of bad injuries in the past where he couldn't perform.
I got that touchdown pass. Yeah, and that touchdown pass today too, baby.
Yeah. So listen, he's definitely playing. So they have good options in case they want to make a big decision like that going forward. And I believe it definitely would. They definitely will look at that.
Sizemore says, have you ever felt worse after a win? I don't think I have. I'll tell you, this is the worst I felt after a win since Tony Romo went down in Philly with a broken collarbone, and we ended up pulling that win out at the end of the game with what was the old boy from Oklahoma State? He's so terrible. The Browns drafted him. Yeah, what was the quarterback that came in for him?
You played for the Rams.
No, he didn't play for the Rams. No, he left us and went to the Texans. He played for Cleveland. We got him. I forgot his daggum name.
Oh, you talking about Matt Castle?
No, not Castle. No, he was top 5 pick.
Wiener.
Yeah.
Whedon,
that one.
Whedon.
Yeah, Whedon. Oh, Whedon. So yeah, I mean, definitely the worst I felt after a win since then, Mr. Whedon, for sure. Well, he's on Seattle's practice squad, and they're protected. They can protect him, and unless they leave him unprotected, you can't do nothing about it. So, and I'm pretty sure they're going to protect him each week until he's on the main roster. He's coming up to the main roster. No ifs or buts. But thank you. The chat is blowing up with Brandon Whedon on the little bit of delay. Yes, Brandon Whedon. That's the worst I felt when we ended up being the Eagles, anyways. But we knew it was going to be kind of all downhill, right? Because we're like, it's Brandon Whedon. I guess I feel a little bit more hopeful than I did then when Romo went out for Whedon, for sure. Because, I mean, we got the red rifle.
Yeah. Listen, again, like I said, as far as we all feel bad what happened to Dak, you know what I'm saying? But I'm positive that the offense won't be a problem. I think Andy Dalton can run it. But like I said, the defense is just that bad. Today it was shown against a bad New York Giants team that hasn't scored that many points. And like I said, we are bad. We are bad. The excuse of players got to believe in the scheme is the management, Jerry, Stephen Jones, Will McClay and Mike McCarthy.
Right.
Some of these players are not that good. You got to make some moves, man.
Yeah. Mendoza says it's got to play like 2016. And I don't disagree with that, but
Yeah.
can I get back Tyron Smith? Can I get back the beard? Can I get back Ronald Leary? Can I get back Mo Collins on the other side? Leo Collins on the other side?
Mm-hmm.
But you are right to a certain extent. I mean, I think you definitely got to pull it down a little bit, kind of do a little bit different, kind of go back to that style a little bit, right? So yeah, I mean, as far as the Dak stuff goes, he's on the tag. The tag comes up, free agency period. You can figure out if you're going to tag him again, and there are like different tags that you can do, not just
Right.
franchise tags or whatnot. But again, I personally, I'm not ready to have that conversation.
Yeah.
That's some stuff way far down the line. Prayers up for Rain Dakota Prescott with the compound fracture being out for the rest of the year, and we'll kind of pivot that and see what's going on.
Here's the thing, y'all. Be prepared this week. Listen, I know everybody will be watching all ESPNs, your Get Up, your First Take. End of the day, nobody knows what's gonna happen until, first of all, Dak is healed. Once everything is fine, which is after the season, everybody's gonna have their predictions. Everybody's gonna, get against Dallas for not signing to a long-term deal. Some people are gonna have a different reason. You know what? It's good they didn't give him a long-term deal. Isn't there a lot of different things? End of the day, nobody knows anything until after the season. Once the season is over with, then we're gonna know what's going on. Right now, the most important thing is for Dak to have a speedy recovery and get better and be healthy. That's the most important thing right now.
Yeah.
The business side will know at the end of the season.
Right. And we'll be getting updates, obviously, where he's at in his rehab and what's going on and how things are proceeding on
Right.
that. And obviously, that's going to happen moving through. I mean, so, going to be intriguing. I saw it with Cowboys Nation already. There's some, it's a love-hate relationship with a lot of y'all out there. I'm not going to lie. Some people, cheering that he got hurt was excited, and they think we're in a better position now and stuff.
Disgusting.
And I mean, look, I don't care how you feel about the quarterback position or any. Let me rephrase that. Any position on this team, like I said, I cut Everson Griffin personally. But I wouldn't campaign if, next week he came out, twists his knee, tears his ACL or something, be like, whew, man, glad he's gone. We can get out. It just, they're people. And it's big. Some of this stuff is bigger than the game of football.
Yes.
And, this is one of those things where this is absolutely unequivocally bigger than football. It's a nasty injury. It's one of the worst breaks you can have. You saw what Alex Smith and all the surgeries he had to go to with his compound fracture, with the ease of what can happen with the infection. And it's bigger than that. We should rally around the next man up, though.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we should want Andy Dalton to be good. But it doesn't have to be, told y'all couldn't wait for Dak to go down. Here's Andy Dalton now. Let's go. Like if you comment that on the Star game, that's I mean, come on. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm not trying to get personal, but with all we've been through in 2020, us as a nation, not trying to get political here. Wishing somebody get injured to see somebody else play is disgusting. It's disgusting. That's not a need. You can feel it's okay to have an opinion that you rather Andy Dalton as a quarterback over Dak. That's fine, but to wish to celebrate an injury and say finally he's out and comments like that, you are a disgusting human being. I'm saying that because at the end of the day, like it's like BJ just pointed out too, it's bigger than football. This is human life, and everything that Dak Prescott has been through, in life, especially this past off season, and to go through this, in his mind, would I ever play again X, Y, and Z? End of the day, he's a human being first.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's the way we should treat him, like a human being. First, we got to be human to treat him better like as a human being. Seeing all these messages about Dak versus Andy Dalton, it's disgusting. It really is.
Yeah. Don't like it. You'll never catch me, no matter who our rivals are. I never campaigned for Wentz being injured or RG3 being hurt or any like I don't do that. I don't care. I'd rather us line up and beat them at their best. But
And,
as far
and,
as making fun of injury, just not going to do that. And to me, it's yeah. Again, I don't get up here and start preaching, Spoon.
no,
But
no, no,
the
no.
idea, yeah, but the
Yeah,
idea that there's Cowboys fans out there that are campaigning. I saw them. I got screenshots. I'm
yeah.
telling you now that were like, yes, Dak's out of the way. Now we can go be something. I'm like,
But real talk, BJ. I would
come on, man.
listen. In Star Gangs, I know we ain't trying to tolerate that, but I will say this: in any other Dallas Cowboys group on social media, I hope the people in charge or the admins feel the same way. Shouldn't tolerate anybody who celebrates another person's injury. It's uncalled for. Disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, very, very much so. Very, very much so. Carol Chicken says, I'm new to the show when it comes to Dak Prescott. I'm so tired of people beating this man up for all of our transgressions. It bothers me. They blame him for everything. It's like they are casual fans and they have no idea what they're looking at. I mean, there's some of that. I mean, my man's running for touchdowns, throwing for touchdowns, caught a touchdown today. He doesn't play safety or defensive tackle. I'll leave it at that. So yeah, I mean, shout out to Dak and what he's done for this team, no doubt. The weird thing about it is in all of this, as this has happened, is that I went through this, with Romo, and people was like, "Oh, Romo's trash. He's trash," and I'm like, "Man, what are y'all looking at? This is crazy to me." I defended Romo tooth and nail. I'm like, I don't understand what y'all. I mean, I've never seen. Now I've done some NFL podcasts. Obviously, the Cowboys are my first love. I've never seen a franchise ever that wants to always seem to get rid of a quarterback that's top 10. Am I saying they're top 5? No. Am I saying they're the best in the league? You cannot argue that Romo at the height of his career is probably somewhere. And Romo might have had a chance where he might have cracked in there, maybe. But I mean, he was playing during the times of Brady, Manning, so on and so forth. But Romo for sure. I mean, you watch him go toe to toe with Peyton Manning, throw 500 yards the whole night. Romo was somewhere in that 6 to 10 range. I mean, this is exactly where Dak is now. And I've never seen fans of a franchise want to sit here and discard top 10 quarterbacks like they grow on trees. Trust me. Do you think Miami is yet to replace Dan Marino? Let that sink in for a minute. They
Yeah,
have yet to replace Dan Marino.
on top of that, just
And
look at
they've
this.
wasted draft picks trying to do it. They hope
Yeah,
Tua is going to be the guy, but they have yet to replace Dan Marino.
yeah, and see, here's
You
the
know what we
thing.
would do as an organization to replace Troy Aikman.
Yeah, it was, oh my God, those are the worst times to be a fan. But I think listen, this is not Madden football where we doing franchise mode and you can sign it and release anybody you want or draft your play and make them better. The whole thing is this: is that it's not easy. Let's just say we don't have Dak for the future. Let's just say that. You think it's that easy? It's easy to say trade 2 first-round picks for Trevor Lawrence. It's not that easy. End of the day, when you got to rebuild, it's very tough. It's very hard because end of the day, the, it may take you 2 to 3 years to see if that's the right guy for you. It's not going to be just 1 year. It may take you 2 to 3 years. If he ain't the guy, start all over again. That happens. And
Right,
trust me, you don't want to see that. This is why you appreciate guys like Dak Prescott, who we got in the fourth round. And when Roman went down, he stepped in. He became that quarterback. Listen. When you see other fan base and other teams saying comments like, "I can't wait for Dak to get free agency," or "I will take Dak on my team any day," you know what I'm saying? Look what they gone through. They see it. I don't think a lot of us was around that I know around once Aikman would retire from football, and we saw the Clint Storners, the Quincy Carters. I don't think a lot of these fans who criticized Dak Prescott was around that time. What they need to do is put on a video and go look at it and see what it is. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, those are the dark ages for me.
right.
Those are the dark ages for me. Drew Henson. I mean, we have former baseball players playing quarterback.
Chad Hutchinson.
Say, oh my God. So
Ryan, hey, Ryan Leaf starting for us on
Ryan Leaf,
Thanksgiving.
Ryan Leaf, the Matt Castles, the Whedons.
Right,
Understand this. Going forward, it's not going to be easy to get any quarterback. We got to know if the guy is good. And sometimes
yeah,
it takes about 2 to 3 years to find out if he's good or not before you make another decision against somebody else.
right.
And that's just being honest. Now,
Mhm.
But again, I'm not trying to have this conversation as far as to replace
Yeah,
that
no,
because
I
we
appreciate that.
don't we don't know anything
No,
until
we don't. Yeah, I'm not
down
even
the
getting
line.
into that. I'm just saying
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the from the
yeah,
standpoint of just you're cheering on injury, whatever. Because I mean, trust me, right now, man, I'm riding with the red rifle. That's my
yeah,
guy. I truly
yeah.
believe it's star over everything. And whoever's the guy pulling the trigger, man, I
That's
don't
it.
want him to like. That's the thing about it. When people like want certain players to fail on their team, I'm like, no, I don't want them to fail. I want them to go be the GOAT. I want them to be the best ever. So
Hmm.
guess what? Like I said, as soon as Eddie Dalton came in, I said, I need you to be the red rifle, not the BB gun, baby. Go be the red rifle. Let's ride this thing out. Let's go get something rolling. You know
Right.
what I mean? I just just the cheering of injuries and stuff like that is the antagonist. Stuart Rogers in the building says this team is 6-10. Well, here's the thing though, Stu. At 6-10, you lost your top three tackles. You lost your starting center, two starting centers because one retired. Then you lost the one that replaced him, so you're down to your third center. You lost your starting quarterback. Let's see. You went ahead. You lost your top two, I guess, defensive tackles for the meantime. You lost two starting linebackers, right? You've lost some corners here and there. We don't have a safety. If we manage 6-10, it's pretty good. Pretty good with all things considered. pretty darn good with all things considered, man. So I mean, we have to write it out and see. Maybe the red rifle will get it cracking, right? But the funny thing about 6-10 though is 6-10 might just win this division. It just might. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, you look at the standings right now. 2-3 has us in first. So I mean, there's that. Uh, Giants 0-5. I mean, the Redskins are down to their third, fourth quarterback, and not looking good over that way. Eagles took another L today. If you go 4-2 in the division, out of the 6 games, you go 4-2 in this NFC least, if you will. Pretty good chance you're going to win this division, in my opinion. Cowboys currently now are 1-0 in the division. They got to win 3 more somewhere, right? But Spoon had to jump off. He said he's got to head back home, maybe jump back on. Uh, but I mean, that kind of pivots to a different question. Do you want to go to the playoffs at 6-10 if you're there? They got to fix this defense one way or the other, for sure. State your name and where you're from.
Oh man, it's Stuart, the antagonist.
The antagonist is in the building. What's going on, Stu? What you got for the Cowboys Nation tonight?
What I have for you all is still get off the narcotic. Get off the narcotic, man. Like you said, I don't know where you're gonna find the quarterback. I just don't trust Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
6-10 is what it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
But my concern is who you gonna pay to play quarterback with all this mess that just happened with that.
Yeah, I mean, we touched on that a little bit. Right now, I mean, who knows? That's something that obviously we're going to talk about to probably nauseating levels as this thing unfolds once we get to the off season and whatnot. I mean, as of right now, there's just no way to project it, right? I mean, as far as it pertains to Dak and the injury, what we know is emergency surgery, right? Compound fracture. Then we'll start the process of, okay, well, now he's going through rehab. Where's he at in rehab? Does it knock his dollars down? Does he take some? I mean, there's a lot to be said and be had there. And then, of course, it'll also turn into, and some of this will be tied to, how does Andy Dalton play the rest of the way as well? What does Andy Dalton do? What do they think about Andy Dalton? Do they think, if he plummets and let's say forget the 6-10, let's say today's the last game we win, right? And let's say they go 2-14. Do they decide in conscience at that point to say, well, we're in position to go draft a guy and we'll have that rookie contract, and that's what we're going to do. So, I mean, there's so many different things, Stuart, to me that can happen right now as it pertains to Dak with the contract and what's going on and how it's going to be addressed. It's just so hard to really project in that crystal ball to see what's really going to happen.
But there is one good thing out of this.
Okay. One good thing for the antagonist. I like it.
Feed Zeke the ball, and he will be the MVP.
I got to win more than 6 games to be the MVP, my friend.
He's the only workload on there, either Zeke or somebody else.
Right.
Dalton, He couldn't get the ball off the man's ass.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, I mean now, but let me pivot on that though, Stuart. He did go 9 for 11 for 101 yards. Are you buying fool's gold? You don't think you don't think he can keep that up?
No, not
Okay.
at all. Now with the different type of defenses that are coming up,
Right.
I think that offensive line gonna hold up.
Well, and of course, that's one of the first things I said for sure is the one thing about Dalton, not that Dalton doesn't have wheels. You know, we saw him at TCU, things and he was mobile. But 10 years later, 10-year veteran Dalton, not as spry of a mover as he once was. And, that's where that kind of separates himself when it comes to Dalton, be able to get out of some trouble when the offensive line don't block it up perfectly. And we're going to have to see which, back to your point, run the ball more. And as I said, I know you just got onto the show. The one thing that I said, Stuart, was I think this means we're going to see a lot more Tony Pollard running the ball as well. So, I mean, Zeke's going to get fed, but there's going to be some more runs headed towards Tony Pollard. As long as, we're not down by 14 or 15 or 16, 20, whatever this leaky defense is doing.
And I want you to remember this one thing, and this is for the Cowboy Nation.
All right, go for it.
This isn't Andy Dalton. You have Dennis Quaid back there. I don't know who this guy is, but you have Dennis Quaid. Okay. That's what you have back there as quarterback.
The Any Given Sunday reference. Hey, but Dennis Quaid put it on the line though. Come on now.
No.
Fair enough, Sue. Appreciate the call in as always, brother.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I mean, it's always a good call when you get a daggum Any Given Sunday reference, right? Oh my goodness. Crazy. Hey, the lines are wide open, like I said, 903-399-1015. As we're coming back through and talking about this Cowboys game. Got the dub, 37-34. How y'all feel about the dub, though, guys? Man, sign up in the comment section. Give me a call and talk to me about it. Obviously, we won, but we lost. Hill's gone for a while, maybe for the year. We know Dak's definitely gone for a while, as we just kind of discussed right there. Snake bitten, as my boy Greg Sizemore said earlier, snake bitten. Pretty good word. Man, we are, I preached about this for those that are long-time listeners, during the preseason as we were going through and getting ready for the season. I was like, man, staying healthy, the war of attrition might be the biggest thing this year with the, unusual type, no preseason games, no, different kind of setup to get ready for the season, the time off where teams can do the OTAs and have the offseason workout programs at the facilities and stuff. I talked about that, the war of attrition might be, what ends up settling who's going to win the Super Bowl this year. And, we look around the Cowboys as, like Rush said, man, we got holes everywhere. We got some guys coming back on defense, but now the guys on offense are starting to fall. You lost Tyron Smith earlier this week, right, for the season. Says surgery should be okay, should be back. We were on again, off again. Oh, are we going to get Leo Collins back? He's gone for the season, right? But some bright sides as we finished off and made the Giants 0-5. Kicker made all of his kicks for us today. I don't know about y'all. I don't like it. Man, his ball go this way, then come back. I mean, his ball kind of moves around and does some things. Greg the Leg Zerline, man, anytime he kicks, man, I'm like, I watch it. I'm like, that thing shifts about 2 or 3 times, and I'm nervous every time. But he's been good, right? For the most part, he's been pretty good. Obviously, Andy Dalton coming in relief, going 9 for 11, getting the things done. We talked about earlier, if he just got here, one of the good things and how he was connecting to Gallup, to me, in my opinion, is that Gallup is very A.J. Green-esque, running the go routes, slender guy, tall guy, right? High points the ball, something that Andy Reid's had his entire career. So there's something, a little magic there for him. Tyler Badaz, by the way, the rookie center, which I talked about before. I thought if he ever became a starter, that would be it for Looney. Maybe Looney goes play guard. Played well today. I'm going to dial up the all-22, obviously, and take a look at it. Saw him pumped up on some things. Saw him downfield, getting to the second and third levels, being able to block. And that was the biggest problem with Looney a few years ago whenever Travis Frederick went down. He played. It wasn't that Looney wasn't bad, but on the run blocking, he just couldn't get to that second level. He wasn't quite that athlete. And I saw Tyler today, just watching the game. I definitely saw Tyler get to the second and third level some. So a bright spot on the offensive line. Worried about Cooper, obviously. I don't think Cooper's completely 100%. I am definitely worried about that. It was good to see Zeke get 19 carries, almost 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tony Pollard flashed a little bit on offense. Still some of the same things with special teams. It cost us 3 points, 12 men on the field. You can't have that. You can't Have that 12 men. Somebody, your punter's supposed to be counting. Somebody's got to be counting. Get the timeout. Instead of a punt, they line up, they kick another field goal, right? Makes the game a little bit, tighter, obviously, and how it played out. Pressure was good. They brought some corner blitzes. They brought some linebacker blitzes. Saw a ton of blitzing as compared to the other games this year. Like to see that happening. Could have had about 9-10 sacks, but like I said, Daniel Jones had a lot of Vaseline apparently all over him because, man, we would get a hand on him here, hand on him there, and just could not get him to the ground. It was it was crazy. But D-Law definitely talk the talk, walk the walk today, albeit against the 0-4 team. Man, just sucks to take an L and or take the win, to be in the number one in the NFC least, but you lose your guy, and it was ugly. I remember Romo was like, "You're just hoping it's a cramp," and then they kind of showed it, and you heard Romo go, "Oh," on the broadcast, and you looked at it. I mean, as soon as you saw it, it's like, man, not Dak. For a guy that hasn't missed a game, his entire career with us, to have that kind of injury, and just we all asked, for him to use his legs more, and he did. He's just stiff arming guy. How many times have we seen him? Oh, there's a little defender on him, stiff arm him, do what he has to do. And, there's just a time where, wow, and out of there. Tough sledding, man. Win on the board. Does feel like you took an L, but at least for the first time, especially during the Tony Romo era, right? We feel as though we have a competent backup. Now, we're going to find out a lot about the red rifle. And, like I said, 9 of 11, now he gets the full work. Now people are going to be, the shift will be they're going to game plan for him and how his style of play is and how we adapt to that. But I'm intrigued to see it. And obviously the opponent that we're going against next week, guys, Arizona, we already know what they do with the ball, throwing it all the way, all over the yard. So, yeah, D-Hop, Larry Fitzgerald, so we got to let it play out. But at least we can say we're in first. At least we can say we're in first. I'm going to leave it right there. As always, man, y'all can find me on Twitter at @your_guy_Knicks. Stargang is the group. Stargang is also the page. By all means, go like and follow both. Get in. And if you're on YouTube, shout out to my YouTube people tonight. Stargang Podcast. Go hit that like. Go ahead and hit that button. Notification bell, so hit the notification bell here, so anytime we go live that and you get notified and you come rock with your guy and let me know what it is. Yeah, Mendoza, Kirk and Isabel, yeah, that man, and then Drake sticking out of the backfield and whatnot. Yeah, that and I better stay in your lanes, because if not, they got that little shifty guy quarterback, Russell Wilson light, if you will, in Murray, that will get loose and get gone on you. So yeah, man, it's definitely not going to be a easy task with this defense and how they've done against the passing game. Or, well, I can't just say passing game, running game too, right? Appreciate y'all as always for rocking with me. Y'all have a great night. See y'all Tuesday for the Cowboys Report at